Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Painted Dog TV. Very excited to be out with you all again this morning. It's rather fresh, as you can tell with the headgear. Myself and Basil with you this morning, folks. We are very excited to get back to the area of where we left the Pride hunting last night. So we're heading east. For those of you that joined us last night, we had an amazing afternoon, spent the entire afternoon with the Pride and two of the males, and had some very exciting moments where the Pride was trying to hunt some impala on a couple of occasions. And yeah, so like I say, everybody, I'm quite keen to get back into that area and see if we don't have any luck finding them again, and perhaps finding them on a carcass feeding. Also be taking us into an area that we haven't explored in a little while. I would imagine that the Pride, if they continued with the direction they were headed last night, we're going to follow one of my favorite little dry riverbeds, which is the dry riverbed that feeds into Siakui Dam, a beautiful waterhole in the southeast corner of the Rietspruit Game Reserve. And looking forward to, whatever else we might discover in that area. Hoping we might get the elephants down there this morning as well. I've brought the camera trap with us. I want to set that up again, hopefully somewhere along that riverbed. I've seen some tracks of leopard in that area recently and want to try and capture footage, particularly of a female leopard that's operating in the southeast section of the reserve, to see which female it is. Never seen a leopard down there, but I know there is one there for sure, obviously because of the tracks that I've found. It could potentially be the mother of the two Kudu-Krip young females. It could also be the Kudu-Krip 4-3 female, a leopard we haven't seen in quite some time. The last time we saw her was up near Lowveld of South Africa many months ago. One of the very first leopard sightings I had on a live painted dog safari here on the Rietspruit Game Reserve. So anyway, that's our plan for the morning, folks. We're going to head that direction, set up our camera, look for the Pride. We'll probably end up going past Siakui Dam, that absolutely beautiful waterhole. Always have images of seeing the herd of elephants having a drink there or swimming there pop up into my mind when I think of that waterhole. It's certainly one of the water sources that they love the most. So let's see how it goes. Just going to quickly greet all of our pack members that have joined us this morning. Good morning, Barbara. Hello, Mary. Hello, Carol. Good morning, Ian. Hello, Guido. Good morning, Jan. Morning, Wendy. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're all well, all excited. I certainly am. Love a little tracking mission as well. Try to track down the Pride. Right, I need to get my gloves on. That's how cold it is. Starting to lose feeling in the fingers holding onto this torch. Morning, last station. I haven't copied anybody else mobile. I've just got mobile from Hayes. I'm going to follow up on the last position of the Pride around Nyala Link Yach Leopard from last night. Welcome back, everybody. Gremlins started early today. Apologize for the breakup in picture there, or loss in picture rather, but we are back. So I've just turned towards the southern fence line of Blaubank, where I left the pride hunting last night. They weren't very far away from the fence line. Just want to see if they have indeed popped out on the fence in their travels last night. Always good checking the fence line as well for well, just about everything really. Always hopeful we might find signs of the 2 male cheetah. They do a lot of patrolling along this fence line. But you never know who else we might bump into. Still waiting for my brown hyena, of course. Well, here's our first characters of the morning. Beautiful silhouette of some giraffe here, folks. Look at that, with that sky. Isn't that gorgeous? Just stunning. Beautiful young male that we have here. I did spot another one that was just beyond him. Might have even been lying down. This giraffe is quite surprised to see us so early in the morning. That's really quite beautiful, with the sunrise about to kick into gear. Just beautiful, listening to the birds starting to wake up as well. Oh, I can hear lions. Very, very distant and very brief roaring of lions there. When the roaring is brief, it's very often that it's the lionesses vocalizing, trying to relocate one another. They don't, they don't often roar like the males do. You know, a long, extended roar. Usually a lot shorter than the males. It did sound like it was coming from the east, so the direction we're facing now, and it sounded like it was quite far. They might have already hit the eastern fence line, actually. I'm sure this giraffe's quite happy to hear that the lions are roaring far away. He won't have to worry about lions today. You can just see him now starting to chew on the cud. He was pretty motionless for the whole time we've been with him, but just now has started ruminating. He may have even just stood up, hearing us approaching. I think the other giraffe is still lying down, in fact, behind this one. Hasn't stood up yet. He's beautiful. Right, big boy, we are going to love and leave you. But thank you for making the start of our morning so beautiful. You'll probably see this other giraffe stand up now, folks, as I start moving here. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to disturb him. Just make him out at the back there. You never know, he might let us just slide by without having to stand up. But he is lying down pretty close to the road here. Oh, no, he's up. Sorry, boy. Also another male. Two males that were sleeping here close to the fence. Amazing how quickly they can actually stand up, hey folks. Such a massive animal that weighs over a ton. He gets up pretty quickly. Of course, as he stands up, he releases his bowels. You are also gorgeous. Have a lovely morning. Right, so for those of you who might have missed it yesterday, everybody, we have a new keyword for the week. The keyword this week is speed. So if you want to get your hands on the painted dog high resolution image for the week, which I believe is a cheetah, a photograph of a cheetah, the photo should be on screen right now, everybody. Please remember then to submit the keyword speed so that you can grab that beautiful photograph. Right, so I've just gone past the road where I left the Pride last night. Well, got to go probably half a mile up that road to the point of where I left them. But I wanted to just check to see if they've come down to the fence line. So we'll be taking the next road in away from the fence, which takes us to that beautiful riverbed I've spoken about. Very good chance they've moved along that riverbed towards this waterhole. Just having a look now, everybody. It appears there definitely are some tracks of the elephants here. Sometime yesterday. And it's definitely the herd. Maybe even yesterday afternoon. It might actually be the young bull, you know. I thought initially it was the herd. I'd seen a smaller track there, but that smaller track was just his hind foot. Now I know that the big bull, the older bull, was seen at my dad's house yesterday around midday up on Leadwood. He sent me a video of the big bull drinking at the little waterhole in front of his home. But it does look like the young bull came past here sometime yesterday. Might get lucky closer to this waterhole. No tracks of the pride yet, so they haven't hit the fence line yet. Now we are of course also on high alert for any sign of the black rhino. Folks, we are hoping to try and trim the horns of the black rhino this week. So Hanno from Rhino Revolution has sent out a broadcast message to everybody that operates on the Rietspruit Game Reserve, asking for assistance to just report any black rhino sightings or any sign of black rhino. So I will be paying close attention to that as well this morning and this evening on both of our drives today, just so that the teams that will come out to try and locate them have a better idea of where to begin. Mary, I see you've just asked whether I have a unusual or special giraffe story. I suppose a special one would be one that the most recent one that I can remember happened right here on the Rietspruit Game Reserve. It was a couple of years ago now, long before I joined Paint to Dog TV, long before Paint to Dog even started here. I was out on a drive just on my own. I was actually here on leave at the time. I was guiding at Kirkman's camp in the Sabi Sand, and I'd often come and spend my leave up here with my parents on Leadwood. And I'd often just go out on drive on my own and go walking on my own and track on my own. And on one afternoon I came across this female giraffe who was standing towards me, and she looked uncomfortable, and I didn't know what was going on. I sat there for like 5 minutes just watching her. She was making funny movements with her mouth. She was moving her legs in quite a funny way. So I thought that there was actually something wrong with her, until eventually she turned side on and I could just see the legs of her calf starting to come out. She was just starting to give birth to a calf. And I sat there for about an hour and 15 minutes, I think it was, whilst this female giraffe gave birth to her brand new little baby. And I watched the whole thing. Didn't have any cameras with me or anything. And yeah, I remember that sighting fondly. It was absolutely amazing to watch that. You know, it was in a time where the reserve was very quiet. There wasn't a lot of vehicle activity here. And I had that moment all to myself. And yeah, I was just so fortunate that she felt comfortable enough, you know, to give birth with me relatively close to her. I parked probably about 80 yards from where she was giving birth. It took a long time, you know, well over an hour. And I never actually saw that calf stand up, because it was just starting to get dark at that point. But I watched as she started grooming, you know, busy removing the little bits of placenta and blood from the top of her baby's head, her newborn's head. And I left shortly after that, went back the next morning, and there was no sign of either of them. So obviously the little one had eventually got up and followed mom. I don't think they would have gone too far. That little thing would have still been very wobbly on its legs, but clumsy. But what an amazing moment for me to have experienced that here at home on my home reserve. Looks like an elephant's pushed a log into the road there. Some leopard tracks here. Looks like a male. Just hope now that the leopard went down this way. Because if it hasn't, you know, it's continued along the fence for a while and then cut in. There's no other roads here that I could check, and I hadn't noticed this leopard's tracks up until this point, so I'm hoping that leopard might have come down here. The good news is, everybody, that did come down here. Jeez, that is quite a chunk of marula tree. That's very exciting, folks. So some pretty fresh tracks of a leopard heading down the road here, the direction we were going to go anyway, to see if we could find signs of the pride. And I think that young, or younger, of the two big bulls, elephant bulls, also went down here. So it's the right corner of the reserve to be in this morning, that's for sure. Let's see if we can find some of these wonderful beasts. Actually looks like it's a female leopard, everybody, and I just want to quickly point out the tracks to you here. You see it there, just past that porcupine dung there. So that's some porcupine scat on the road there, everybody. And just above it, you can see the female leopard track. So she did leave the fence and come down this road, heading towards this riverbed I've spoken about a couple of times this morning. Very exciting. Now, this will probably be the female leopard that I am most interested to get footage of right now, everyone. Try and identify her. Looks like there's a drag mark across the road here. Quickly see what's happened here, everybody. There's something back here, everybody. I can hear. Oh. Beter. Sit still. Guys, I can hear something that sounds a lot like crunching of bones. We've obviously got this drag mark here, and I've just seen some movement here as well. course, we have the leopard's tracks right here. And now we have this very fresh drag mark right here as well. So is it the leopard? Can't see that movement anymore, everybody. I also can't hear anything anymore. Not hearing the crunching of bone now. I think whatever it is, it's seen me and it's stopped. Phew, heart racing here. Now the only problem we have is it is so incredibly dense in there. I don't know if we're going to be able to get in here. But I'm certainly going to try. I haven't checked yet on this drag mark, everybody, to make 100% certain that it's the leopard, because I don't want to be moving around here too much and disturb this. I thought I heard movement again. Man, such a pity it's so thick here. Just going to try and find a way to come in and try and get a bit closer to where I picked up that movement. The crunching of the bone was very close by, and that movement was as well, everyone. This looks like our best bet here. Basil's having to do a lot of ducking and diving here, everybody. It's very thick. No thorns here, Basil, but you'll have to pass it over your head. I'm just listening very carefully, everyone, to see if I don't hear movement or crunching again. I can just faintly hear something here, which sounds like a predator using the carnassial shear, these sharp serrated teeth on the side of their jaw. They often do that when they're cutting through the hide of their meal. I think that's what I'm hearing. Ian, to answer your question about the camera trap footage, no. There's no leopard on our camera. Some nice footage of rhino, the injured male lion, a couple of antelope, but no leopard. And Carol, to answer your question, nothing ever visited that zebra foal. Chris went back there repeatedly and kept reporting to me that the foal was still there, untouched. It's moments like these, everybody, where I wish I had special power, like laser beams that come out of my eyes, and I can just melt the vegetation in front of me without making any noise, so that I can get a bit closer to what I'm certain is a leopard. And the problem with this area is because it's so dense. I mean, I might be able to find a way to get there, and I'm still going to try one more time. But the problem is, when you do that, you make so much noise with the vehicle that if it's an unrelaxed leopard, it's just going to keep moving away from you. Be able to hear the distant calls of the dark chanting goshawk there, everybody. That beautiful call. I can still hear that sound every now and then. It's not far. 50 yards from us. I've been trying to look around me here, folks, to see where I might be able to scout a route to try and get closer to that sound. It's pretty tough. But we're going to give it a bash. One last go to see if we can see what it is that's feeding here. Praying I don't get a puncture in the process. Dead end. Can't hear anything now with the hornbills having their morning chinwag. Just too thick. It does look like there's a nice open patch down here, which I'm going to try and get to. But first things first, we've got to get out of the hole we found ourselves in here. Right, wish us luck. That hurt. nice termite mound that we're coming past here on our right. Perfect place for a leopard to come and lay up while it's resting, keeping an eye on its carcass. Okay, I'm just going to sit here for a little bit, see if we don't hear it again. We're almost in line with where I placed the last sound I was hearing. I think I can still hear it there, everybody, but it's just too thick in here. I can't get any closer to that sound, unfortunately. It's a real pity, because I'm convinced it's that leopard I was tracking that's killed something and dragged across the road here. I am just going to quickly go back to those drag marks now, just to confirm that, because then I might come back here again this afternoon and try to find a different way in. Oh, man, very exciting though. Quite an adventure getting in here as well, of course. So I had to do quite a lot of evasive maneuvering here, everybody, because of this beautiful little tree that's just starting to grow here. Well, it's growing quite nicely, just next to a prominent game path here. This tree is a greenthorn, which is a protected tree species, and one of my favorite trees. Used to be known as a torchwood. It's changed its name to greenthorn now. And it would have been very easy for me to have just driven through here, but I spotted the tree just in time and then changed our route so that we didn't drive over it. So for some of you, you might be thinking, oh, Gareth just crashes over everything and he's destructive. To a degree, of course I am with the vehicle, but I'm well aware of what trees I'm driving over, and I am well aware of the endangered species of trees and the protected species that we are not allowed to drive over. So I'm always very conscious of that when I'm off-roading. It's also why we just move very, very slowly. It gives me enough time to look out for these trees. Here's another one, another greenthorn growing right here. Elephants absolutely love feeding on the pods of these trees.
Slowly moving west towards giraffe from Mpumalanga.
Greenthorn or torchwood. Mind your head here, Basil. Alright, so we have successfully returned to the road. I just want to quickly investigate this drag mark a little bit, everybody, and then I'm going to continue searching for the lions. Sounds like the male cheetah have been located on Kai and Lowveld. So we're not going to be seeing them this morning, but they are heading west, which is good news, everybody. So we might get them this afternoon. Exactly, Mary, you know, you've hit the nail on the head there. That's why I persist in moments like these. Even though we don't get to see the leopard, we are doing our bit to habituate these cats. You know, the fact that we've gone in there, we've made a bit of noise and we've left, and we haven't disturbed that leopard all too much, really does help with the whole habituation process. Oh, thanks, Carol. Yeah, my birthday is this Friday. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. And yes, Carol, I agree with you. I hate the fact that they're always changing the names of plants and birds. It's very frustrating. And the original names are always better than the new ones, that's for sure. The only problem here is this substrate is like concrete. But I tell you what, it was something big that got dragged across the road here with quite a bit of weight to obviously have left a very clear drag mark on this hard substrate. It looks like it was sometime last night that it was dragged here, because there's quite a lot of dove tracks, emerald spotted wood dove tracks on top of the drag mark. So those emerald spotted wood doves would have only started moving around feeding on seed this morning, which tells me the drag marks from last night. Basil, can you reach for the radio and turn it down, please? I'm still none the wiser as to who dragged that carcass across the road here. Just cannot tell with the substrate here and all of the fallen leaves on the ground. Also lie either side of the drag mark. So I'm not sure. There was definitely something feeding on it when we first stopped here though. And then we disturbed it, of course. The reality is it's probably only going to be one of two animals that's feeding on that carcass. A leopard or the hyena that stole it from the leopard. Anyway, it was very exciting. But let's carry on, everybody. Tell you what, if it was the scenario where the hyena has stolen the carcass from the leopard, then we might discover more of that leopard's tracks further on here. But I'm going to push on towards the riverbed, everybody, which is where I hope we might find tracks of the lions. Haven't heard them at all this morning, which might mean they are on a carcass. Just that one faint roar that we heard at the beginning, that could even have been the lions on the neighbouring reserve. Oh, you see there's no leopard tracks here yet. Oh no, hang on, there are leopard tracks there. Leopard and civet. But right there in the middle is a leopard's tracks. So maybe it wasn't a leopard that was feeding in there, everybody. I mean, it of course could always be a different leopard, but chances are it's a hyena that's dragged something across the road there now that I'm seeing this leopard's tracks again. Now these are tracks of a female leopard. Another possible scenario is that a male leopard had robbed her of her meal, and he's the one back there feeding on the carcass. One of the perks of being a male leopard, of course, is that they're much bigger than the females. And so whenever they come across a female with a kill, they almost always rob them of that meal. Right, now we're getting very close to where we last had the pride. As I say that, here's tracks of the pride. And where did they go? The tracks are going back the way we've come from. They must have cut through the block here somewhere as well. You can see one of the paw prints quite nicely here, or a couple of the paw prints. Oh, basil. Kudu, behind you. Just spotted a kudu, everybody. Fortunately, I hadn't walked too far before spooking them. Beautiful female kudu with her herd. There's a number of them in there. Which of course would be a definite target for these lionesses. Where did you go, lions? Lions went that way, everybody. They've cut through the block here on a prominent game path, which if they continue following, comes out on the southern fence line. So they went through here to our left, everybody. I've actually never walked in this block or along that game path, but given its general direction, I think we're going to pick up the tracks of this pride again on the southern fence, and then they probably headed east towards the southeast corner. So I'm just going to pick up the pace, everybody. Get down to that fence line and head east. Good morning, Ulla. Lovely to have you with us. Glad you could join us this morning. Tracks of the pride cross Nyala Ruta, heading south and east towards the southern fence line of Blaubank.
Okay, copy that. You might pick up them contour that also for Dovu. Let me know. I'm also going to come that side and give you a hand. We're looking in the front.
Okay, copy. So of course I've now given up on the tracks of the female leopard we had there, everybody. Bet your bottom dollar I'm coming back here this afternoon though. Probably not going to have time to set up the camera trap either, so I'll try and achieve both tracking of the leopard and the camera trap this afternoon back down near the Siakoi drainage line. But I'd imagine within the next half a mile we're going to pick up tracks of the pride again here along the fence. Oh, some commotion going on here. Giraffes having a squabble on the road here. There's nothing here. Oh, here's a cheetah. Oh my word. Wow, cheetah, everybody. Not our cheetah. My goodness. Was not expecting that. This cheetah's just eaten as well. Blood all over its face. Is this the male? Or the mother of the cub? It is the male, you know. It's the Blue Canyon Conservancy male, everybody. Man, that's cool. Seems a little bit nervous. Morning, guys. Very unfriendly guard, that. Oh well. Maybe he didn't wake up well this morning. Okay, now I'm not going to keep following the cheetah, everybody, because it's trotting from that vehicle, so it's clearly not enjoying the guide either this morning. Doesn't help that he's just chasing it. Anyway, what a lovely little treat for us. Feel sorry for the cheetah being harassed by that guide. Right, let's carry on with our mission. Wow, what a lovely surprise. That's the first time I've ever seen that male cheetah, everybody. That resides on the Blue Canyon Conservancy. Very, very cool indeed. A single male cheetah on the southern fence line of Blaubank, just east of Nyala Junction, heading west. But it's on the other side of the fence. It's the Blue Canyon Conservancy male. There's one Vuyani vehicle there following that animal. Elephant tracks, guys.
I'm not sure if you might want to try again, but the other side is here.
Looks like the elephant herd was here sometime yesterday again though, and going east. No tracks of the pride yet. Still got tracks of that female leopard. This is where she came from. She walked all the way along the fence line here. There's also tracks of the elephant herd, same area, heading east. Tracks are from yesterday.
Copy, thank you.
Interesting. There's now tracks of a female leopard going east. She might have just turned around on herself once or twice here, investigating scent. Might still be the same animal. Bad guide indeed, Wendy. Bad guide. Hopefully this one's not so bad. Morning, guys. At least that guard was friendly. Where, oh where is the pride? They must have gone hunting in the block. I was hoping we would have tracks by now, everyone. They haven't popped out on the fence here yet. Many times we've come across the herd of elephants in this corner, feeding down here in the southeast corner. They love feeding along this drainage line here. Just get down to this corner and listen, we might hear them. The pride has definitely not come down here though. Still no tracks of them. I thought I'd seen something on the road up the head there, but it's just a shadow being cast over the road. it's this dense woodland down here where the elephants often come to feed. I'm just going to switch off here and listen for a bit.
Copy that. I was just wondering because
Jeez, the time has flown by this morning, everybody. I suppose that's what happens when you're having so much fun. I can't hear those elephants. They're not in this corner, I don't think. Maybe they're already making their way back up towards Sekoi Dam for a drink this morning. So I'm going to head that general direction. Also looking for the tracks of the Pride again on this road now, folks. This is the most likely road they would have come out on from where we had the last tracks. Oh, giraffe crossing the road here. Hello, you beautiful beast. No, don't run away from us. Beautiful. Not too happy to see us, however. She's heading off. It's interesting to see that female leopard's tracks still here on the road, everybody. So we're basically just backtracking her, the route she followed last night. So she probably came from Sekoi Dam, this big water hole that I'm heading toward now, and walked down here, then hit the southern fence, and then went up the road where we first discovered her tracks, where that drag mark was. I need to actually come and spend more time in this corner. See if I can find this female leopard. I'll definitely be back in this area again this afternoon. tracks of the pride, everybody. So they did come out here, and their tracks are going straight north. You'll see their tracks quite nicely in the sand here now. So I think they have headed towards Dam. They just took a very roundabout route to get there. It'd be lovely if we found them at the waterhole. Which was that general direction where I heard that roaring this morning. I'm very cheerful, Ian. Very happy with life. Hard not to be when you're out here, I suppose. Tracks of the pride are still on the road here. Looks like the lions went off the road back there. Just see if they returned. Doesn't look like it. Oh no, they did. Some of them split off there. Still tracks of two of them, two of the females here. Perhaps they were stalking something here. I could see back there where one of these lionesses scent marked up against a tree. I think she left the road there. I just want to figure out which direction they're going from there, everyone. I'll be back shortly. can't make out which direction those two females went back there, everybody, but my gut tells me they've gone in here to our left. We are sadly running out of time, but I'm going to go with that hunch and head that general direction, see if we don't get lucky. Might end up finding their tracks, come back to the road again a bit further up ahead. Good morning, Rosemary. Lovely to have you with us. And yes, indeed, better late than never. I'm busy trying to find the pride at the moment, Rosemary. Had their tracks for quite a while this morning, and I've just found their tracks again of them heading along the road that we're on here. They did indeed come this way, everybody. It's interesting, they're now circling back on themselves. Heading back towards the point of where we left them last night. They've headed down towards the drainage line. Wonder if they might be sleeping in this riverbed, everybody. They do often do that. Just try to see where they went from here. gone down this way. Still towards this riverbed. So they didn't head directly to Sekwe Dam, the waterhole. And that's perhaps because they're still hunting. Such a beautiful area, this. This is the riverbed. I intended on working along this morning. I can now unfortunately say, everybody, that our lion search for the morning has ended, because we cannot go up there, which is where the pride has gone. So they've crossed back over the Sekwe drainage line and they're heading back north again. If they keep going that direction, they'll probably pop out somewhere close to Boskamp, up near the airstrip. But we're never going to get around and up there in time this morning. But that's okay. Hopefully lots of you will join me this afternoon as I come back out to this area to search for the pride and search for that female leopard. Just wondering if I shouldn't set up this camera trap here. Maybe not. Not the greatest spot. But we'll find a spot this afternoon, I'm sure. Well, it was certainly fun while it lasted, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed it. I certainly did. Always do. Copy. It's our pleasure, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Such a beautiful morning. And I hope that a lot of you can join us this afternoon, guys. Very excited to come back out here again. See what action is in store for us. And we hope that you all have a brilliant day or brilliant evening, wherever you are in the world. And don't forget that key word, everybody, for the week: speed. You want to get your hands on that beautiful photograph of the cheetah? The key word for the week is speed. Makes sense? Word fitting for the animal that we photographed. Thanks very much, everybody. Have a lovely day. I'll see you later. Bye for now.